So let's ring the doorbell.
Hi there. Let's begin our first episode. This is the first episode of, I guess, what we're going to call Hammock Squatching. It's a video blog series of my efforts in the field trying to track down that which makes up the Sasquatch phenomenon, at least here in the Northeast. Believe it or not, there is a tradition of the mystery here in the Northeast with the Pamula in Maine and the Wood Devils of Vermont and New Hampshire. There is a history of activity in the Adirondacks, and even the Winstead Wildman in Connecticut and his close cousin Wild Willie across the border in Mass. I thought we'd start out with a little bit of a commentary on something that pertains to the research that we involve ourselves with, trying to track down the truth of this thing. And one of the things that I encountered just this last weekend is something that it happens to the best of us, but let's talk about gear failures. Some examples we can think about, we had what we call iCam sunglasses. They're basically video recording sunglasses. And I intended to catch some scenery and do so in a video format for part of the introductions video that I made, and come to find out I had left the micro SD card at home and it does not record without that. So I ended up not doing that. I also had an audio recorder with me that was not the one I normally take out in the field with me, and the audio settings were not set where I like them. So being in an area that's prone to a certain amount of wind, the H2 recorders are very sensitive microphones, but the downside of that is in the outdoors they can be easily overpowered by a constant droning background noise such as wind. These are things that if you do something impromptu, these things happen, and you learn not to do it the next time. As a result, the first thing I did when I got home is I made sure that the iCams had a recording SD card in it for the next time, and I made sure that the settings on all three of my audio recorders are where I need them to be for the next time, so that if I do happen to forget, they're already set that way. Another example of gear failure is failing to take into account the effect of batteries in the cold. In the past, I've brought out a more traditional camcorder, but I have found the hard way that the battery life in the cold, unless you have a means of keeping your camera relatively warm, basically drops off very dramatically. It's not even really practical to bring it out there. And same thing with audio recorders. Again, batteries in general, you need to have a means of keeping equipment warm and out of the cold, or you're going to find your battery life deteriorates rather badly. Veterans in the research know this. Newbies should probably be aware of it and find the right means of keeping these things from happening. And again, it happens to the best of us, but gear is fallible, and you just learn as you go, and with experience, hopefully do better. Moving on to a preview for the weekend, it's a little bit up in the air given the weather that they're predicting. It's going to be a winter storm, so with luck, I'm going to be able to get out and get some tracking done in the snow, which is always a good thing this time of year. You have a great leveling of the playing field in the woods when you have snow on the ground, because even if you don't see something passing by, if it does pass by at a different time, and you have a decent snowfall, it has to leave tracks of some sort, so it will leave a trace of its having been there. So hopefully that'll work out. This is going to be the first segment of the second episode of the series. I kind of come in and out with these, and I had that thought on my mind, so I wanted to touch on that while I still had the thought. And with the next segment, hopefully it'll be from the field this weekend, and we will pick it up from there. Thanks.
This is episode 2. Actually, I'm not going to give it a number because after the cutting board comes into play, I don't really know what episode number this will be, but Me trudging through the snow in video. You can see it is snowing as we're out here. Good acoustics on that tree. What we're walking in is fresh snow. It's about a foot deep. Just up to my knees. And what I'm discovering is there's no tracks because they're all being covered over by the snow, so I kind of defeated myself here. But nice thing about today, there's no real wind, so it's kind of deadpan quiet out here. So just me yapping. The War Club is with us again. Probably give it a name. Like the guest star for these things.